Ado with Where the Wind Blows. It's the next track we're checking out on our nearly completed track-by-track listen through to the Uta's song One Piece Film Red soundtrack, but it's not a soundtrack, but it's an OST, but it's a official kind of thing. Anyway, look, I have to say, I know it's a bit weird to say this about a CD which is basically a movie tie-in and is basically working around the plot of that. And yeah, that's one of the reasons why I think I put off listening to this CD so long, because it felt more like it was a soundtrack than a proper album. Obviously I didn't know that, but that was kind of like, I think, where my mind was at thinking about it when I was trying to think about what I need to listen to next. But having listened to it up until this point, the first 6 tracks, they're all brilliant and in very different ways. And I think at the moment this is looking, although it's only 8 tracks, this is looking like a pretty strong bet to be my favourite Ado release. I am really enjoying this. Now, Where the Wind Blows, don't know where we're going to go next. The last song, The World's Continuation, was something of a ballad. As I mentioned at the time, and apologies, I know there's probably people who've got in the comments of that video before seeing this one, but yeah, I record them in batches. The last one, The World's Continuation, it felt very much like we were going into ballad direction. I don't know where the wind blows. If I was to take a guess just off the thumbnail and the runtime and the name of the song, it looks like it might be a ballad again. Also, plus, as I mentioned in that one, I didn't know whether these, because I've never seen the film, I don't know whether these are chronologically in order matching events in the film, in which case it would make sense maybe to have a ballad after another ballad. But I don't know. Is this going to be another ballad? Let's find out. We're going to unmute it. It's already a second in, so let's run it back. There we go. Tried to autoplay. Luckily, I had it muted already. Let's go. Let's listen to this Where the Wind Blows by Ado and see what we think. That is proper chilling pose. The glory of the weekend. Feel like we're back in ballad territory and I got no problem with that. I recognise, I don't watch much anime, but I recognise the animation style. Oh, we're going big beautiful ballad again. I think I've seen this on like the telly or something before. This is so familiar. I just kind of got this like warm feeling, like being reunited with an old friend kind of thing. Oh, I love that orchestration there. That was beautiful. And we just have Ado doing the soundtrack to everything. Yeah, I think this song really is allowing her to just stretch the emotional power of her voice beautifully. It's very much like the perfect song for her. That's really beautiful. I will give credit again. Once again, this has got a really beautifully delivered video. Is that tied in with One Piece? I guess it has to be, but it just didn't look like it. Are there any more credits worth pointing out? There's a few more credits on there. All right, so I must say with this one, it's interesting because I said a similar thing about the last song, and yet I feel like this is a very different type of ballad from the last one. The last one, so the thing that these songs both have in common is that they're both very much traditionally made ballads. You know, they have a traditional ballad sound. If you've heard, the minute you start getting into this song, you kind of know you've heard songs like this before. You've heard songs of this type before. Both of them are exceptionally well delivered in a way that just makes you go, yes, this is spot on. Both of them are definitely all the stronger for having Ado's voice front and center, giving this incredible sense of feeling, personality, and strength. And both of them actually have very strong videos that I would speak very highly of. So the funny thing is that almost everything I want to say about this song I said about the previous song, and it almost seems like I would have to repeat myself. And yet I think the biggest difference is between the two of them is that this is a song that definitely feels like it's got maybe perhaps a bit more of the big sort of how to say, like TV drama style of ballads. You know, it's a very sort of traditional style of orchestration, big traditional style of chorus. I think whereas the previous song, perhaps I should actually check the names. Whereas with The World's Continuation, it felt like a song that was entirely powered by expression. You know, the everything about the way the choruses and everything were powered was by the strings and the voice rising up, and it was a very kind of intuitive song. This definitely has more of a quality that sounds like your traditional soundtrack sort of song, where you have very clearly defined big chorus energy and you have the sort of beautiful verses. It's interesting because I also would come to a similar conclusion about this song to what I did with The World's Continuation, that if you are not predisposed to ballads, this is not going to win you over. However, if you are already open to ballads, then this is like taking all of the qualities that we know, that dare I say, are stereotypes of ballads, and just nailing them. And again, a lot of that is going to come down to obviously the quality of the orchestration, but primarily Ado's voice. It's interesting because I like to go into these songs with quite a lot of depth and really express my thoughts on this, but I do feel like this is, all I can really say here is that it is very much a traditional ballad. It hits all the traditional beats of a ballad, but it's delivered with a stunning power and beauty by Ado's voice. And that is the thing. That is the thing. If you want to hear Ado do a ballad, 2 for 2, we've got 2 in a row where she's just nailing ballads and doing them in somewhat traditional style, but with, you know, really great execution. There's nothing wrong with perfecting a style. You know, innovation is great, but you can't always be innovating. If you're going to do something though which is of a familiar style, then as I often say, that's okay, so long as you are really, you know, nailing that style. If it's a style that many people have done before, you've got to be extra good to show that you've got something to add to that particular plethora of songs. And there are 1,000,001 ballads of this kind in the world, but Ado is adding something, I think, through her pure expressive vocals here. Of the two, I think that The World's Continuation probably hits me harder because I feel like it's it sort of is just much more fueled solely by the emotional power. It's I think it's a song where it's maybe a little bit less melodramatic, but a little bit more based off of the emotional power of like Ado's performance. I feel like it's you really feel the rising coming up there from that side. But I don't know. These are two extremely beautiful ballads in a row, and I do think they are definitely different enough to justify their coexistence. However, I could throw compliments at this all day long, but almost all the compliments I want to throw at it are things saying it's a very traditional ballad, very well executed. I'm going to be interested. Do you know what? One of the things I'm going to be most interested to do when I listen back to this album is listen to both this song and World's Continuation. Really see, after multiple listens, which one sticks with me the most, which one's the one that I'm most inclined to come back to. I think on my initial feeling is the World's Continuation is probably the one that I would imagine I would be most likely to come back to. But maybe I'll have to report back and let you guys know that later. I really enjoyed both of these. I thought they were absolutely great. A lot of fun. And that leaves us with only one song left, which is Binkusu no Sake. No video, which is a rarity. I say this sometimes when I do my track by track listen throughs to artists like Mrs. Green Apple. Whenever there's a song for one of these artists that has no video, you're always like, you've got plenty of budget. This one didn't get a video. That means experimentation. Anyway, we'll find out when we get through to that. As always, I'm really enjoying doing this track by track listen through. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. Keep on giving the comments. I've just had so many wonderful comments under these Ado videos. And you guys are always really cool, giving me your thoughts and sort of, being very communicative. And it's great to see the positive communication and conversation and people sharing their love of art and sharing their opinions respectfully. We don't all have to agree on things. That's what makes music so beautiful. Makes anything artistic beautiful, is that we all know that there's nothing to be agreed upon. It's just a case of understanding why we all like what we like. And for me, this is something I like, despite finding it very familiar, not particularly innovative, just extremely well executed. So there you go. Like I say, get in the comments. Tell me what you think, and until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.